We're bang on 11 o'clock. So,
Look at that. The
cheeky little
timing.
opener, cheeky little intro right there. Um, so, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the lifestyle marketeers, those people who are not quite lifestyle marketeers yet, but are on the cusp, this is going to be the day that ultimately shapes yours and other people's lives as well. Because I'm joined today by a very inspirational, awesome lady called Laura Platt. Do you want to say hey, Laura?
Yeah. What up? Yo.
What up? What up? What up? This,
Yeah.
I'm sure, will be a very fun, very interesting, very educational, value-filled Facebook Live interview. So, Laura,
You're
who
building
are
it up,
you?
mate. You're building it up.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Um, who am I? Well, I came across you about a year and a half ago. Was it a year and a half? 2 years? March, February last year?
About a year and a half, about 18 months, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. Joined your program. It was weird. I worked in corporate 10 years, went to live in China for a year, needed some money, wanted to stay traveling. Facebook listens to you and knows what you want all the time. So up you popped and I just got straight in. So yeah, and then I joined
Before
you
we go
one-to-one,
too
obviously.
much, yeah,
You
before
what,
we
sorry?
get into that, you jumped into the one-to-one group last about 2 months ago, right? It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
about 2 months. Let's just first start out with a bang. Tell us what's happened over the last 2 or 3 weeks, just literally 6 weeks into working with me one-to-one. What's been happening over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks? Hit us with it.
Yeah, I just did what you said. Took about 3 days, generated loads of calls and loads of money in my business. So it was 16K. It's now 20K as of this morning. So ka-ching,
Insane.
boom. I'm not putting a victory post in yet because I reckon it's going to be 24K by the end of the day.
Nice. So
So
you've got
yeah.
so much stuff still lined up, but like, what were the time frames on that? So yeah, cool. You've hit 16K, well 20K now. Sorry, because you made another sale this morning, didn't you? Um,
Yeah.
in how long?
Like 10 days. 10, maybe
And
10 days, including weekends in total. Yeah.
how the chuffing hell have you made 20K in the last 10 days?
A mixture of things. So like remodeling what I deliver, listening to you, taking cash up front, in big blocks instead of, in dribs and drabs.
Mm.
And yeah, just getting loads better at sales, not being a pussy when it comes to objections and just, holding them accountable to their own crap really, that came from rewatching sales calls and rewatching sales calls and rewatching sales calls and like picking it apart and yeah, just repeating stuff and getting better and holding myself accountable as well to not also being a pussy to their objections and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
made a
me and
massive.
me and Laura have a special relationship, which I'm going to kind of title unadulterated coaching. Right? We're both from a very similar place. Laura's actually from a place called Sheffield, right?
Yeah.
You're from Sheffield. I'm from York/Leeds, which is just down the motorway. Um, we obviously met 18 months ago when she joined the Lifestyle Marketeer program. We're going to go back to that moment because for those people who are kind of watching this thinking, oh, well, yeah, you made 20K in 10 days. That sounds unbelievable, right? There's obviously been a significant amount of time and progress that has happened when we first met or when you first came across my ads and joined the Lifestyle Marketeer program and now, right? 18 months. So let's go right back. Before you even
Yeah.
knew who I was, what were you doing in Sheffield? And then
Mm.
what led you to leave Sheffield and where did you go? And what were you doing there?
Mhm.
Why did you join the program, work with me originally 18 months ago?
Yeah, so I worked for an IT corporation for 10 years. 8 years of that was in Sheffield, and the last two were in Prague, which was all amazing, great experience, but also not really what I wanted to do with for the rest of my life. That was never my dream. I just kind of ended up doing it because I was like a 20-year-old partying wild child. And I didn't know what to do with the rest of my life. And I ended up getting that job. So yeah, so I stayed. Dude, are you still there? Because I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Your face is frozen. Still
still
there?
here.
Can you
I'm
hear me?
just very still.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Very still with your eyes shut on my screen, like this. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I was a partying wild child at 20, got a job, didn't really know what else I was going to do in life. Stayed there because I still didn't know what I was going to do with the rest of my life. Did that for eight years, went to Prague for 2. Decided I'd had enough, but I still didn't know what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I kind of a little bit, personal development, I'd had my spiritual awakening. Let's call it that, right? So then I decided I was going to go and I was going to save up some money, pay off all my debt, and go and live in China in a kung fu school for a year. So off I went and did the year in China. And weirdly, my shifu there, he asked me to get him customers for his school. He asked me to get him students from England, right? And I had no idea how to do it. Someone put me in touch with someone in England who was supposed to be a digital marketing agency who I paid 300 quid to, and then he blocked me on WhatsApp. I never got my money back. And so, yeah, no, I was like, this is bullshit. I need to do this myself. So then I started like Googling marketing stuff. And I actually think that may be how Facebook got me and started showing me your ads. So then, you came up in a way that was like traveler, lifestyle, that kind of stuff. It wasn't just like learn marketing. And that's what I wanted. That's like, I wanted to stay traveling because I was in Indonesia at this point, in Bali, where I am now. And I just wanted a way to keep doing that and to not have to go home, basically. So I was.
Motivation.
Say again, sorry.
So that was your motivation to originally work with me and start your own digital advertising business, right? So that was March 20, a year and a half ago, right? So March 2019. When you first started working with me, how did your business look? Like what happened once you first kind of, started working with me over the first kind of 12 months? Like what was your journey and your experience there?
First 12 months. So I was a niche hopper. I hopped niches a couple of times. I actually, looking back, if I'd have known then what I know now, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just stuck with one and gone with the one that I really felt for, which originally was health and wellness, right? Doing Facebook stuff, which personally I really like because it's very tangible when it comes to results. Like, I know I got you this many leads for this much money, and what you turn that into in ROI. I like that. But then I went off into like dealing with designers and stuff like that, doing LinkedIn, and that fell apart after COVID and all the events industry shut down. So I lost a load of customers like overnight. Went back to pivot into health and wellness, and then that's really just sort of boomed and grown and expanded.
Yeah. So you obviously you adapted as you do to any challenge that kind of arises in your business, which is why you're sitting here now. So fair play to you, credit to you. And then 2 months ago, when you decided to work with me one-to-one, what was your motivation? Obviously, you had good success throughout your life, the lifestyle marketeer, though it wasn't as focused as it perhaps could or should have been. So what was it that compelled you to go, 2 months ago, hey man, I want to work with you one-to-one. Let's dive into the one-to-one group. Like, what was the motivation behind that to step up and level up? Why did you do it?
I think that in the business model that I had, which was doing everything done for you kind of services, to scale that is a lot more difficult, or I wouldn't say difficult, but just maybe more people heavy than it would be for me to realign my business model. I basically wanted to take some time back into my life and get away from the hustling for phone calls every day. I wanted inbound leads. I wanted to kind of just make the whole prospecting process easier for myself, but also make more money at the same time, obviously, because who doesn't want that? So
and you are ready, you're ready for it as well. Yeah. So the whole COVID thing, I just want to hit on that because that's obviously a big topic of conversation for everybody at the moment. What has been the key takeaway of obviously hitting 20K now in the last 10 days throughout a world economic crisis, when there's so many people saying, oh, businesses aren't buying and like the world's burning and everything's terrible and whatever? how the hell have you managed to make 20K in 10 days throughout COVID? What's been that, that change?
Number one, small businesses are buying. That's a load of shit. So if anyone says that to you, don't listen, because it's not true. And number two, if you've got something that somebody needs and you sell it in the right way, then they're going to buy it if they like you and all of the rest of that stuff, and you've got the right solution for them. So for me, it's just kind of like, my market has a need and I have the solution to their problem, and the people that I'm attracting now with the way that I do it are very much aligned to me as a person and resonate with me, so they want to work with me. They don't just want to work with any old marketing company. So it's kind of like, I would just say, if anyone's hearing that no businesses are buying and we're all on the way to the world's worst recession, and just go and hang yourselves now because it's not worth living anymore. It's just a load of crap. So yeah.
Agreed. And my take on it, and this is backed by years and years of it happening before, world recessions and disasters and all of this stuff. This is the time when people buy because they need help, right? They need more help than they perhaps did before. And if they don't act on it, certain businesses, we're not talking, there's a certain kind of bracket of, restaurants and bars and nightclubs and stuff that have been very, very heavily impacted. But, 90% of the world's businesses, like accountants, like, financial planners, like, we talked about those types of business that
consultants and coaches.
Consultants and coaches, exactly, who are more in the market now for the right help and the right solutions than they ever have been. Now is the time where there is so much opportunity, and people like you and like me and the people that work with us can see that, or are educated to see that, and see who they should be focusing their time and energy on working with right now, right? Would you say that's quite a key pivotal? You've got to be working with the right people. You've got to have the right offer to them. Because if you're trying to, if you don't have anybody to guide you through the process, you don't know who to work with, right? You end up going after clients who aren't in good places. And that, for me, in people getting started, people who don't work with us, who don't have that guidance, that for me is like a pivotal thing for anybody to be aware of, right?
Yeah. And it's just going to take 10 times longer, or probably to do anything if you've not got any guidance. Like me, I'm kind of like, I'm going to put my energy into something. It's like investing. You want to put your energy into the place where you're going to get the biggest returns. There's no point me banging my head against the wall for the next 5 years trying to figure all this stuff out on my own, when I can just go to someone who's got like multiple $1 million business to just tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. So what were your struggles, right? Because you don't build, a multiple 5-figure a month business without your own personal battles and struggles to overcome. So just to inspire and, educate people on that this isn't easy, and it doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen within a couple of months, right? If you really put in the work and the time and the effort. But what have been the things that you've perhaps struggled with at times?
Focus. So, once you've fallen down one marketing funnel, you can fall down the rest of them on Facebook. And distractions happen everywhere. And I think, a lot of those things would work for the right business at the right time and all the rest of that stuff. But what happens is you'll get distracted. This is a shiny object, just going over there and a bit of attention. And all you end up doing is spinning in a circle and chasing your tail. Whereas if you just stick to the few things that you need to do, and there's really not that many of them to actually achieve this, it's just doing these same things, these specific same things again and again, getting really, really good at them. And as soon as you've got really good at those few things, then it's just easy to replicate. Focus, one. And then that kind of, I think, the thing that all business owners experience, or people who are trying to build businesses, when things don't work, your self-belief takes a wobble.
Yeah.
So, it can be a bit kind of like, well, thank God for my girlfriend, basically, because she's like slapped my mindset back into shape a few times. But yeah, like you get that, that bit of like imposter syndrome. Can I really do this? Like, what am I like? Who am I to be trying to doing this? All that kind of crap that goes through your head, and it's learning to not listen to that, and kind of cultivate a healthier, stronger way of thinking, which
Yeah.
takes time. It's very possible, and once you do it as well, your brain doesn't go really back there into those like valleys as much as it may have done before.
Mm. So how has joining the one-to-one group and stepping up, leveling up your business, how has that helped you in regards to focus and everything that you've just mentioned?
Oh, massively. Like the other week I was messaging you or what you're doing, I'm doing this, that, and the other, X, blah, 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 ding, 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 thinking that, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. And you were like, no, just stop doing like 10 of those things and just do this one. And, and just focus on that. And that really, really, that was a big part of how this money is being generated in I say in such a short space of time because the sales calls were closed in such a short space of time. But obviously, there's been work going on
Yeah.
outside of that period of time, and that's where the realism comes in. But yeah, the money that's been collected, that was a big part of it happening in the time
Yeah.
period that it did.
So you
Yeah.
you you decided to work with me one-to-one about 2 months ago, but at that time, weren't you working with somebody else?
Yeah.
And how was that? So just tell us that story. What happened?
Okay. So in so I came to you in March, right? In 2019. I spoke to this woman in, I think it was like January. She's a business coach. She got a couple of successful businesses, but not in the marketing space, just like a pure business coach. Um, don't do that, guys. Just just don't bother me because the things that, yeah, they just didn't really get anywhere at all, basically. Yeah, there was just not a lot really that she could kind of teach me because the things that she was teaching was stuff that I already knew, and yeah, it was all just a bit flaky. I wasn't really getting anywhere. Definitely, probably one of the worst investments I've ever made in my life. And so yeah, I just came and put some money into you again.
Mm. And then what, like that, the focus element, right? For me, just obviously sitting where I am, coaching you, it was seeing you being directed and instructed to do all of these different things, like focusing on a logo and your graphic design and all of this. Like, frankly, at that stage of your business, like it's not important. Like, what's important is opportunity creation, attending strategy sessions, having your offer nailed down, having your niche nailed down. So let's talk about. Go on. Did you have something to add?
Yeah, so it's like, so yeah, branding and stuff like that, which I can't say that I hate, because actually I do really like design and stuff. I know you want to kick me in the face when I say that because you think it's a waste of time. I
No, not
just
like no. I don't think it's a waste of time. Like, just to get that clear,
um,
like it has its time and its place. But when you don't have a supply of clients, that's not the
that's the
time to be
problem.
wasting time working on
Yeah,
branding and blah 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 at that stage. Um,
yeah.
graphic
So
design.
yeah, so there was that. Yes, so there was that, and then there was like, I've got a lot of ideas. I'm quite a creative person. So when I need somebody to kind of just go, no, don't do that one now. Just put that one in the bank. Like, leave that one to the side. She was like, yeah, do this one, do that one, and do this one, and do that one. So I was like, yeah, running around in circles, doing all this stuff that was stuff that just wasn't moving the needle. It wasn't going to get me anywhere. I just think that it wasn't a good match. Maybe she's a good match for the people, but she was not a good match.
Yeah, I'm sure there's value there, but for you, it didn't work out. So like the lesson of the story is like, guys, like be careful what you do, be careful who you invest with, right? Make sensible business decisions. I think that's a great lesson to take out of it. Um, but let's talk a little bit more about now your current business direction, right? So
Mm.
who are you working with, and what are you helping them do?
Yeah, so I'm working with female consultants and coaches in, like, a few different. mainly in the health and wellness space. So there's like hypnos, nutritionists, there's a few different people within that bag. It's still not the most narrow of niches. But it's cool because the same strategy works. I'm basically helping them to get more customers, to build a marketing machine. This is how I say it. I help them to land clients every week by building a marketing machine, and kill it online in less than 90 days.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how is that a pivot from what you were doing before?
What I was doing before was doing it all for them, for how long is a piece of string. It could be like 2 months, it could be 5 months. It was just basically lead generation for their existing service or offer, and that was it.
Yeah. So as part of the one-to-one group, like just for everybody's kind of context as well, as part of the one-to-one group, we look at the space in which the marketeer is operating, what their offer is, who they're working with, how that's presented to them, how it's packaged to them, what price point you're selling at. And we ultimately, do that together, right? So me and Laura spent, however long it was, a couple of hours on a call going through that and getting full clarity on who she serves and how she serves them, which is then the direction that she's taken that in beyond, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
cool.
Yeah.
So my favorite questions. So there's a variety of people that watch these success story interviews. Obviously, we've got the people who have never worked with me, never, they're probably still wondering who this guy is and whether or not we can trust him.
Mm.
And we have those people who do, work within the Lifestyle Marketeer program. So I've just got a couple of questions for you off the back of that. So what would you actually say? What would you say to those people who are watching this, looking at you now, not me, you, going, this girl's has made 20K in like 10 days with no previous experience beyond when she initially started first working with me. What would you say to those people who are skeptical, who look at you or even me and think this sounds too good to be true, or this is, that's unbelievable, don't believe it? What would you say to those people who have that opinion?
If you go through life thinking like that, then there's probably not a lot that maybe changed. But really, number one, it wasn't 20K achieved in 10 days from me just, not knowing who you are and not having any experience. There was legwork that went on underneath that for a start. But we're both in marketing, and that 20K in 10 days sounds awesome, right? It gets people's attention. So 20K in 10 days is what came in the bank. And that's true. And if really I know it's when you see something like that and it's so far away from where you are right now or where you think that you want to be, it's hard. It can be hard. It could be hard to believe that. But really, with that, if you want to change in your life, if you want to have that kind of money, if you want stuff to be different, then every time you level up or you grow or you do something different, it's always going to be scary. It's always going to feel, you're always going to feel fear. You're always going to feel like there's a risk involved because there's absolutely no guarantee on the return because it's all on you. And it's easy to offload that, whatever's going on internally into disbelief about what other people are achieving when that's not necessarily what it is, because it's real and everyone's seen the screenshots of the stuff that's come in my bank account. So if you want it, then you have to stop thinking like that and you have to take risks and do stuff in life that's different.
Did you feel that fear when you first started working with me and when you joined the one-to-one group?
Every single time.
And
Yeah.
do you think,
It never goes away. I'm quite an intuitive person, and even though that fear is there, I will just kind of go like, "Is this right?" If I get the chills, then I'm like, "Yeah, it's right. Okay, do it." If it's like I feel sick and I really shouldn't do it, then I don't do it. But I got the fuck it, go for it feeling both times when it came to investing with you. So I did it.
and you're obviously evidence or proof of what can happen when you not only make that decision, but back yourself with effort, right? Now, just be completely, obviously, transparent, Laura. Like, if you hadn't have made that decision 18 months ago, where do you think you would be now?
Oh, I know where I'd be. I'd
Where?
be, I'd be, um, I'd be in Australia working for the same company that I left when I was in England. Gutted that I've
Right.
sold my soul and gone back to working for an IT corporation.
And
Most likely.
you'd have boomeranged.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
pun,
yeah.
Australian term, you'd have boomeranged right back to the same company, but on the other side of the world, right? So you'd have still have had those shifts, but you'd still have been in the same situation in a different country, working the same job, right?
Yeah.
So I think that on its own, like, just deserves a massive congratulations that, like, in 18 months you've achieved what you've achieved. And I do personally believe that, like, if I'd have had the one-to-one group, like, way further, if I'd have actually started that a long time ago, you would have achieved this much, much, much faster. The time was largely obviously spent personal development, learning new skills, practicing, putting it into action, making mistakes, getting it wrong. But if I'd have brought the one-to-one group forward, like, you're one of those kind of people who follows instructions when you've got them, and when I can be on you, make sure that you are following those instructions. You're a dream to work with, which I personally think is a credit to you. And I just wanted
And a
to
credit to you. Thank you.
yeah, well, I want to celebrate you. I don't want these interviews to be all about me. I'm a very modest Yorkshireman, as I'm sure yourself are as well. But you've just done awesome things, and I think you deserve a massive congratulations. I'd love it for everybody who's watching this video to drop a comment below and say, well done to Laura, because you're an inspiration to everybody.
Oh, don't make me do that. Don't make me do that.
What would you say to someone now? Last question, we'll wrap up for about 30 minutes. You're very busy. How many calls have you got booked after this for today?
Oh, but I've got 3 more booked for today. 2 sales. One, someone won a prize in my group, so I'm giving her a marketing plan. So
Awesome.
yeah.
And just in the last what is it? Let's say the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. How many calls have you been on?
Oh, probably about 30. No, maybe better not that. Maybe like 20. Yeah, 20. I'd have to go back and count them, but I think it's about 20.
How many clients have you landed out of those 20?
5, like 5.
5.
5.
And how many cold direct outreach messages have you sent to book all those calls and land those calls? 0.
None.
Great.
Yeah, 0.
The one-to-one group, for those of you who are watching, it's to step up your business. It's to step up your business, step up your life, step up your results, your income, your professionalism, and become an industry leader like Laura now is as well. So what would you say to somebody who's watching this video who is on the edge of pulling the trigger on either working with us for the first time or working with me one-to-one? What would you say to those people now you're sitting where you are and you can speak from experience?
Yeah, I'd probably say, imagine your life in 18 months from now. And if it's exactly the same, then is that making you feel good? Or is that not making you feel good? And if it's anything other than like 11 out of 10 on the feel good scale, and you know that this program could give you what you want, then just do it. Just do it. Get over yourself, get over your fear of money, worries, return on investment, blah, 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 all that crap. Nothing in life comes without risk. Just get it done.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom and words of a person who is achieving amazing things. So, Laura, other than that, I just want to thank you very much for jumping on, sharing your experience, your unadulterated coaching experience with me as well. Love working with you. Love coaching you. Good luck on these calls. Let's see a victory post from that client that you landed today and celebrate that in the group as well. You're a star.
Yeah, I can't wait. Let you know.
Right. Any final words?
No, just smash it.
Work hard. Cool. Thank you for watching, everybody. Drop us a comment below. Let us know what you think. Laura, thank you so much for jumping on. I'll see you in the group.
Yeah,
or in the one channels. See you soon.
Yeah, see you later.